Hi. What if I told you that the very qualities we admire in others can sometimes ignite feelings of jealousy within us? It's a strange paradox, isn't it? The complex and contradictory emotions of admiration and jealousy are emotions that can intertwine so deeply. Admiration can spark inspiration, while jealousy can stir up envy. But when these emotions intersect, they can blur the lines, making it difficult to decipher our true feelings. Have you ever encountered someone who seemed to embody perfection in every conceivable way? Someone whose mere presence has the power to light up a room and whose very existence feels like a challenge to your own self-worth? For me, this person was someone I admired from a distance, someone I wished I could be. Let's call her Amelie. She was nothing short of dazzling, intellectually brilliant, effortlessly gorgeous, and remarkably talented. It was almost as if she had been sprinkled with a kind of magical dust that set her apart from everyone else and made her extraordinary. But there was a problem. The more I admired her, the more a gnawing feeling of jealousy grew within me. It was a strange form of torture, like a bittersweet wistfulness that consumed my mental space. I vividly remember the first time I saw her. I vividly remember the first time I saw her. She walked into the room, and it felt like time stood still. I just watched her, and I cared deeply, perhaps too deeply, about her every move, her every word. It was like an obsession, but this initial admiration soon evolved into something darker and more corrosive. I began to compare myself to her relentlessly. Her achievements made me doubt myself, her beauty made me feel insecure, her charm made me feel invisible. This is the paradox of admiration and jealousy. The more you elevate someone to an idealized pedestal, the more you belittle yourself. This toxic admiration started to erode my self-esteem in ways I hadn't anticipated. Each time I saw her, I felt a knot tightening my stomach, almost like a physical manifestation of the inner conflict her presence stirred within me. I made attempts to rationalize these feelings by reminding myself that everyone has their own struggles and imperfections, but despite my efforts to maintain perspective, the jealousy was overpowering and it infiltrated into every facet of my life. But one day, I experienced a moment of an important realization. It dawned on me that my jealousy wasn't truly about her at all. Instead, it was a reflection of my own insecurities, fears, and doubts. It was about how I perceived myself in contrast to her seemingly flawless existence. This realization was a hard pill to swallow because it confronted me with the harsh truth that my discontent was rooted in my own self-perception rather than in her. However, acknowledging this was the first crucial step toward healing, which was understanding and addressing my own feelings rather than projecting them onto someone else. I resolved to confront my feelings directly and began a process of self-examination. Writing had always been my safe place to relay the web of emotions I was experiencing without judgment, so I took that approach. I poured my thoughts onto the pages, asking myself difficult questions that demanded honest answers. Why do I feel this intense jealousy? What does she symbolize in my life? How can I transform this envy into a force for growth? Through this reflective process, I gradually understood that jealousy often stems from a deep-seated feeling of lack. When we envy someone, it usually stems from the belief that they possess things that we ourselves are missing. This belief is truly flawed because it operates on the premise that another person's success somehow diminishes our own worth. In reality, this notion is far from the truth. Everyone is unique, and another person's success does not subtract from our own. Recognizing this allowed me to begin changing my perspective. I eventually shifted my focus to celebrating my own strengths, achievements, and unique qualities. I didn't need to emulate anyone to validate my own worth. My value wasn't dependent upon how I compared to her or anyone else. My worth was an inherent part of who I was. Embracing this new mindset was incredibly liberating. I also learned to appreciate their qualities without allowing them to overshadow my own. Essentially, by seeing her accomplishments as a testament of what is possible instead of standards against which I measured my own value, I was able to find peace and acceptance within myself. But the road to self-acceptance isn't easy. It's filled with challenges and moments of hardship. but it's a journey worth undertaking. To be honest, this journey is ongoing for me. There are still moments when uncertainty and jealousy creeps back into my thoughts, but that's okay because I now have the awareness to guide me through these feelings. We have the power to transform these feelings into catalysts for positive change. As I wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Admiration and jealousy are two sides of the same coin. They can coexist within us, but they don't have to be destructive forces in our lives. By comprehending the roots of these emotions and the insecurities that fuel them, we have the capability to change jealousy into inspiration and admiration into self-love. Again, this involves knowing our own worth and accepting the things that make us who we are. Thank you.